Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Londiwe Kaba. Today's video will be focusing on the cost or the finances that are involved in raising a special needs child. So of course guys, my videos or this video, I will be using my own experience as reference to how I do things and the costs that are involved. I thought let me start off with a little story time, okay? So this year in March, I took my son for further assessments because reason being is that in my last video, the doctors that I was speaking about were from public health care, you know. So this year I thought let me take him to a private neuro pediatrician, you know. And guys, since we live in Pretoria, of course I found a doctor who's this side. The doctor charged 5,500, but it was for a 4-hour session. And mind you guys, doctor does not take a medical aid, so you pay cash, then you claim back from whichever medical aid you're from. So I did pay that fee, but guys that amount was too much. And medical aid, I think, took like 3 weeks to pay it back. So guys, just imagine that money that I knew that I'm supposed to have back. Of course, now a few things or certain things had to wait, you know, for me not to do them now because I wanted to take my child. It was worth it in a sense that, of course, I was kind of aware of now the full details. Like guys, that doctor touched on everything that concerns the child. I thought let me start with that story time as to for you guys to just see how expensive kids are, especially special needs kids, because of course kids in general become expensive depending on what lifestyle or what you want your child to have. So of course, you know, the basic things depend on that. You know, for example, if you want to breastfeed your child, of course you won't buy milk. But let's say that you can't produce milk, that means you have to buy formula. Focusing on the mothers right now, you are determining how much you'll spend for the child on formula. If maybe you want your child to use Huggies, Pampers, so those costs are what you want for your child. Are you going for the extremely good quality items for your child, or you are buying cheap quality? Guys, I can't think of another terms to use for this, but you guys understand what I'm saying is that, so based on what you want for your child or what you can afford, you know how to budget around. But now when it comes to if the child needs additional care or medical care, it's a different ball game. I had spoken about the 5,500 that I spent, right? The doctor still recommended that he goes for speech. My son also goes for occupational therapy. I know I didn't touch that on the previous video, but he also goes for occupational therapy because you know, there are certain sensory things that he can't do. Also, he's on 2 types of medication, which is Risperdal and Ritalin. And then there are costs also for taking the child to these places. So now I'm just gonna break down pay towards my child. Of course, me, I found my foot in this thing, so I know that this month or next month this is what I'm doing. But I thought I should just touch on these finances that I spent, therapists and medication. Ritalin, guys, is like, how much did it cost again? I think it was 380, and you get pills for 30 days. Then the Risperdal, we got tablets, and the tablets were for 45 days. Those tablets were 480. For medication, you do your own math, 480 plus 380, you understand. And then he has to go for speech therapy and occupational therapy. Guys, each session is 900 rand. 900 for an hour session. And you know, these doctors, when he came to my son, they recommended that at least he do 2 sessions a month, especially for speech. So imagine 900 for 1 session. That means I'm supposed to cough up 1,800. And occupational therapy is also 900. So imagine every month he's supposed to take medication, go for speech and occupational therapy. Like guys, how much is that is actually spent on the child? Because of course you can't keep it lying, like, you know, leave it like that. Of course, that's why there are public sectors. And I'm not saying, guys, I don't use the public sector. Of course, I use the public sector because Chini bao, guys. Medical aids are so expensive and you can't do every single little thing using medical aid. Do like a little scenario with our situation. So we are on Momentum, right? And Momentum is great. I won't even lie. For me personally, Momentum, the package that we are on or the option that we are in, like it's great for the two of us. I can't use all the money towards the therapist and the doctor. I'll get sick, he'll get sick, there'll be something wrong with our teeth, so there always has to be money in our medical aid. So of course I can't do the private route like throughout, but I just weigh my options that okay, this month we have more money so he'll get more therapy, or I do the whole one session public for speech therapy and another session private but occupational therapy, because it's not as hectic. He just uses the public route. So imagine, guys, I've counted 4 things. Then you go for these sessions and they'll tell you like, mommy, please purchase this, try this. Guys, these things also cost money. I always have to make sure that I have Wi-Fi, because YouTube, Google, for me, it's a great help in terms of stimulating him, researching on new things, and also for him to learn. So internet is so expensive, and these games or books that therapists will say I should buy and do this, they also cost money. Like I remember the other time I signed up in some app, which was great. Like it gave me a 7-week program which included like work color, like the whole preschool work plan, and it said that I must pay $1. Paid that $1, but now the thing is that I did not read the full terms. Guys, I think 3 days later 208. I'm like, the terms where you pay $1 the first day, then after 3 days they will charge you for the full package. But that app was great, like it's great, but of course I was like, I know this is not what I wanted, so I did cancel it. But guys, can you see how much the total cost that goes into helping the child? It's crazy. School fees, guys, the way special needs schools are so expensive, it's ridiculous. The reason why I'm saying it's ridiculous because, guys, cheap schools, they don't produce the best results. But without me going further on this, first, just a little disclaimer, he goes to a mainstream. But now my issue is that should he not progress, of course, at the required rate, that means that I have to take him to a special school. So I had to familiarize myself. Oh, English. But I had to make myself aware and research should he needs to go that route. All I can say is that schools are so expensive. It's like, let's say 2,500. Usually those schools, they don't even offer in-house therapists. So imagine you're paying 2,500 for school, then you pay, let's say 900 to 2,000 for aftercare. You still need to take your child to speech OT. Your child still needs to be on medication. Your child still needs to go to the doctor for 3 to 6 months checkups or reviews. Guys, it's like, hayibo, senzani la? Okwenzakalani? Since my son, I took him in March. For that 5,500, you find that I'll only take him again in December, November. That's when I'm planning to take him. Since next year he's turning 6, it's not like he's going to grade 1, because we've already established that he can't start grade 1 next year. When I went to the other doctor, public hospital, for our checkup, you find that parents are just complaining about the finances. Of course, guys, I complain, like, guys, I also need money. For me, it just becomes like the thing of, I know what I want for my son, so of course one is trying to do things inside so that my son is not left behind. Money makes things to be more accessible. I remember this other time I spoke to some lady and she just said that she feels like this doctor is not giving her what she wants. I was like, I felt like that until I referred her to the 5,500 doctor. She's like, ngeke sisi imali eningi leyo and anginayo. And what made matters worse for her is that they are not even on medical aid, so it's not like she can even afford or does not have a kind of like a stable job where she gets medical aid as one of the benefits. Like, my son is on medical aid, we are paying for it. Hello, medical aid is not for free, I'm paying. So you guys, but I just thought about it. the medical aid na iyakhokhelwa. But she was just saying that her heart just breaks because if kids are like this, they need more money, guys. Because don't forget that kids still need to eat dressed up properly. Like, kids still need toys, stationery, food, still need outings to be exposed to other things. Like, guys, if we say plainly, goes to mainstream, that means we are cutting down on therapists and going for every 3 months, 6 months for his checkups. So that means more money on my side or less money spent on these things. I thought I should just speak on the financial struggles of raising a special needs child. I feel like for me the saddest part, and I'll always say this, and in my previous video I talked about it, is like, as parents it is tough, guys. Like, let us not lie. In general, kids are just a lot of work and they're tough, and you know, imali yaphuma imali. But now if you bring in this, it's just like, you. And I just hope, again, as parents, we are currently in the same boat, so we are gentle on ourselves. For me, what I realized, especially when we started living together, is that if I quickly sort out like my son's life and we get on in a certain routine, I strongly believe that soon we will close this chapter. But the more you delay and you feel like your child is very expensive and you can't do this, the further, guys, a child will deteriorate, if I can put it like that. Because, guys, don't forget, it is said that you mold the child while they're still young. So right now we are dealing with a clean slate, and we are molding the child to what we want or what we think is best for that child. So the more you delay and you feel like you don't want to spend money and you don't want to expose your child into certain things, the more you don't help your child to grow. You don't stimulate the child from when they are young. So when a child now is 13, they will feel like, I do feel like I'm different. So for me, I thought, let me work now and we kill it now. Because as much as my son is not progressing accordingly, but when we are the people, you can't touch him. Like, he is very confident in himself and he's sure of himself. And right now, he doesn't really feel like he is lacking anything or he is behind or that there's something wrong with him. Because he is going in these things. We are building the child up. We are buying. If the doctor says, look into this, I'm there. If the therapist say this, you are trying to mold the child to be the best version of themselves. Yes, it is a lot of work, and financially it is strenuous. Like, we won't even lie. Like I said, that of course kids are already expensive. Now just imagine adding this layer. It just make the workload even more. But I just strongly believe that if it's sorted out now and they are young, even if, for example, because of course, guys, I'll always use my son because it's what I go through every day and it's what I see, I work on. As much as he could go to a special needs school, but the beauty of it right now, he won't go to the one that does not have mainstream. Hey guys, that's another cost on its own. You know, the schools that have both things, some schools are so expensive. And since we stay in Pretoria and at home it's in Durban, guys, the cost of schools are guys, completely different. The standard that I want for my son, or what we want, I could pay back home like a maximum, let's say, even of 3,000 for what I want. Like, I know that he could get this. Like, of course, since I'm from Durban, I know certain like schools that he can go to, and they are not as expensive, and he will get a proper education. But like Pretoria, this side, it's very costly. But guys, I've come to the end of my video. I hope you guys like this video. You know, I hope this video is beneficial to all the parents out there, and I hope you guys subscribe, like, and comment on this video. And guys, please do share the video. And also, guys, I know this channel is new, but guys, if you guys have any questions or any comments or any videos that you guys would like me to do related to this special needs or autism or ADHD and whatnot, because that's my niche of my videos, guys, please write down below. And see you guys on my next video. Bye.